On this episode, we're buzzing with stories in the spirit of agriculture. From beehive rehoming to carrot-eating cows, we catch up with a SoCal garden teacher and have a cooking demo just for the halibut. California Bountiful starts now.
Hello and welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Aubrey Aquino. Now, you might be wondering why I'm in this bee suit. Well, bees are all around us, and here in this Southern California backyard, these hives are home to rescued bees. And this story's got quite the buzz.
About 10 years ago, I got really interested in where the food comes from and the process of how we harvest our food and where it comes from and the natural abilities we have for us to grow through that food. That idea drove me to want to more understand about our food source and not just become a chef. I wanted to be more of a cultivator of food and help others through that cultivation.
Chef turned apiarist Donald Lockhart began beekeeping as a hobby before getting into the bee's nest.
Okay, right now we're looking and inspecting the hive. I was at a resort in Southern California where we had an abandoned beehive. And that's how mine and Janet's relation started. We had this abandoned beehive and I wanted someone to come and teach us how to work with the bees and care for the bees. And by doing that, I ended up being taught from Janet how to care for the bees and to manage. And basically it created this animal husbandry program that we started to foster in the resort. Now 13 years later, I'm actually going through and rescuing multiple hives or hundreds of hives from different locations, from bird boxes to houses to irrigation covers and trees and bushes, and we find ourselves here today.
Rescue, remove, and relocate. Donald credits his honey love to Janet Andrews, founder of Orange County's Backyard Bees.
Southern California especially has a lot of bees. There's not a problem, but they get in places that they're not wanted. You know, if they get in the roof of your house, which a lot of them do, they get in up through the eaves, those little vent holes. They get another place they always get is in irrigation boxes. Birdhouses are a lot of them. We get calls all the time, especially swarm season, which is, the first in spring, because when conditions are good, the bees, that's how they propagate their species. And that's where we get all our beehives. I've never bought, in all these years, with 100 hives, I've never bought a single bee or queen. So it's just what we've rescued.
Backyard Bees offers an alternative to honeybee extermination. Bees are removed from places they're unwanted and relocated into a wooden hive box in backyards where they can continue pollinating.
Right now we're in northern Santa Ana in one of our 16 apiaries. We have 8 hives in different stages of growth, some that are probably ready to harvest and then others that are probably ready for a new box. So we try to get in and look inside the hives every 3 to 4 weeks. So this one is a partially drawn out comb. They're starting to fill with nectar. I love the idea that working with bees is producing a positive culture experience where we're not killing the bees. I love the idea that we get to care for those animals that help us produce food that we can live off of. I love the connection and sharing that connection with the guests through being a chef and caring about your food and how it's produced, and not just accepting it came off a truck, but being involved in that. And it gives you a chance for choices of how the food is provided to you and how you end up nourishing our guests with it. It's actually a stress relief too from the long days in the kitchens. We don't control the bees. The bees are an entity or a life force that is going to do what it's going to do. You have absolutely no control over it. You can only make suggestions and you can try to help curve character or nature, but you can't control nature. And they're amazing animals and they're loving and caring, but they're not aggressive unless you are aggressive towards them. We only work with feral bees, bees that we have rescued from the Orange County area. There's almost not two of the same kind why people want bees in their backyard. Some of it's because they have a lot of fruit trees. Some people love the idea of caring for the bees, want to support the idea and the belief that we need our bees. They help provide the pollinating for 70% of the food that we eat. They are extreme importance for our lifestyle and the way we live, and the idea that we want to keep living as a society. So there are some people that just believe they want to be a part of that support to keep the ecosystem going.
So when we keep bees at someone's yard, they get 10% of the honey that's whatever, and you can't count on it. You don't know what it's going to be like. Sometimes ants get into the hive and the hives leave. But if things all go well, you can get at least 50 pounds out of one hive. So if you've got 10 hives in your yard, you're going to get a decent amount, and then you get pollination. But we do everything for the bees. You just provide the location and we take care of everything else.
California Grown Spotlight.
My name is Megan Cole. I'm the owner of Little Fox Cups and Cones. We are a made-from-scratch ice cream shop in Oceanside, California. The San Diego region is quite cool because so many different things can grow here, and that's one thing that is reflected with the farmers that come to us. We get really amazing carrots, amazing strawberries. We get great prunes from California Prune. We get wines. I mean, literally everything in California can be grown here, and it's just so cool because that is then put into our ice cream, and we're able to tell that story of what California can do through our ice cream. Our menu is constantly changing, and that's really dictated by what the farmers have available for us to use. Some of the most local ice creams that we have is the 24-karat gold. It's one of my most favorite ice creams. We use local carrots from Joseph DeKisto Farms. We take them and we roast them in olive oil, and then we use a local honey and a spicy hazelnut brittle in that ice cream. One of my most favorite ice creams to showcase is our ice cream called Golden Hour. So for that ice cream, we're using local passion fruit. We use a fresh lavender from Golden Grove Farm just outside of Vista in Bountiful. So we use her lavender and her Meyer lemons in the lavender haze ice cream. And the Ecology Center ice cream is absolutely unreal. We take the Ecology strawberries, roast them in elderflower liqueur, puree them, and put them straight back into the ice cream, and it's like a strawberry flavor you've never had before. Oceanside is a really, really cool place to come. The people that live here are some of the kindest people I've met since moving to California. They really love this city, and since coming here and opening this shop, I've been greeted by people who are so supportive of what we're doing. They're so supportive of the fact that we're using local farmers and California ingredients. They love the fact that we're using a local dairy, and they've supported us through all of the different challenges that opening a business presents. I got into ice cream and just the industry in general because I love taking care of people, and food is my way of showing people how much I care about them and love them. And the amount of time and energy that we put into making our food is kind of a reflection of the way that I feel about the guests that come into the shop. By supporting California agriculture, we're supporting the local community. And I know California is very large, but as a state, we're pretty tight-knit. So we're getting produce from up north and down south, and by putting them together, we're supporting the entire ecosystem of California. And truly just the produce here is so good. And it travels a very short distance to get to us. So like I said, there are countless of reasons why I could rattle off to you why we should use California produce.
Coming up on this episode, carrot-eating cows, and there's no beef about it.
Once they learn how to eat those carrots, they get hooked on them.
But first, we spotlight an ag teacher in San Diego
If you just cut it here, like in the middle, and you leave it in the ground, it just keeps producing more leaves.
who's growing a Garden of Fork curriculum with her students.
California Bountiful is brought to you by the California Farm Bureau.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're also one of America's largest financial services companies too, just like I'm so much more than Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. I want everyone here to know that you too can be so much more.
So I could be a chef.
Sure can.
Marine biologist?
Follow your dream.
NFL quarterback.
Kind of a niche skill set, but I believe in you. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
When you choose California grown, you're a part of something good. Sound too good to be true? Not at all. It sounds responsible. We lead the nation in sustainable measures, plus some of the highest worker pay and protections. It sounds diverse, with 400 plus specialty crops produced statewide. And it sounds fresh because it was grown right here. Learn more at californiagrown.org.
Join me, Gary Sack, on the Voice of California Agriculture podcast, an insightful look into what's happening in the world of agriculture, from how crops and farmers are faring to legislative and regulatory issues, plus other farm and food news. It's our time to talk about all of it. What are the implications of foreign investment in the U.S. farmland? Find us today at Apple Podcast, Spotify, and California Farm Bureau's website, the Voice of California Agriculture podcast, where California agriculture speaks.
Now for a Bountiful Spotlight.
Thank you. They're excited to eat vegetables. I mean, I get kids who are like, I never realized vegetables could taste this good. You know, for me, that's an eye-opener, because a lot of our kids, you know, like young kids anywhere, love junk food, love, you know, Takis and all that sort of stuff. So getting them excited in the cooking classroom to eat sauteed greens and rice, and they want seconds. You're like, all right, this, to me, I'm making a difference in these kids' lives.
Jessica Eves is a garden and cooking educator in San Diego County.
Beans, right? The red lentils. 20 years ago, I got wrapped into a garden teacher position in another local community here in San Diego. And the only reason I got that position was I volunteered on organic farms in New Zealand, so in my early 20s. And so I wasn't a teacher yet when I got that garden teacher position, but then I went to get my credential, and I always thought I would start a garden. But it took me about 18 years to actually make it happen, and I'm so glad I did. You know, it's really been a huge part of this community. The idea of teaching seasonal eating with my kids is so important to us, and like the kids are starting to really get it. You know, this idea of a cool season versus warm season, and why it's good to eat foods in the season you're in.
Now at Darnell Charter School, she's been leading the agricultural education efforts.
We've been running this program for about 6 years now, and for the last 3 years it's been a full-time program where our students come here weekly, either to the garden or our cooking classroom. We have an herb garden here, and then we have about 18 vegetable garden beds where we grow seasonal produce with our students. So the roots really didn't expand very much. It's the size of that pot, isn't it? We have a vermicomposting with the worms as well. We do a lot of seasonal planting. We grow everything from seed. Everything in the garden beds we grow indoors. We start them indoors, and then we transfer them outdoors over time. So the kids really get to see the whole seed to table concept. We teach a lot about crop rotation, the idea of, you know, it's important to change the rotation of your crops. We teach about companion planting, how some plants do really well together. We talk about a lot of integrated pest management, about, you know, planting certain plants to kind of deter insects or to attract them. And we study different insects every year. Like last year we looked at monarch butterflies. We started a monarch way station. Then we'll do some sort of, we call it the FBI, fungus, bacteria, and invertebrates from the compost bin. So one year we did worms, the next year we did roly-polies. Every year we kind of study something in, like, specific to either a pollinator or the compost bin, so the kids become more and more familiar. It's called kohlrabi. And we grew it a couple years ago. We grow everything. We grow broccoli, cauliflower, collard greens, Swiss chard. Every year we try to grow something new so the kids have a chance to experience a new fruit or vegetable.
Then from the school's farm into the classroom.
We only generally cook in the cooking classrooms whatever's growing in the garden. Their table names are all the different crops we have growing, so they get really familiar with the names and what they look like, and just realizing, okay, next 3 months this is what we're eating in one, you know, shape or form. We talk about seasonality, so what's in season. We talk a lot about flavor and taste and how combining different ingredients can really change the flavor or taste of ingredients. We also talk about herbs versus spices, just kind of like the idea of a lot of cultural and ethnic food. Like this last year we did spring rolls, we also did sushi, veggie sushi, and we also just made Indian dal with the kids. So again, exposing them to food they may never have ever had a chance to taste before is a really important part of that cooking classroom. If you eat everything I offered to you today, you are getting every food food group in your diet. So we can repeat their favorites. Like the recipe we're having today is a repeat. It's butternut squash mac and cheese. And literally,
this is so good.
They can't get enough of it. So we grew butternut squash last year and it was fantastic. We had a ton that the kids got to, use in their recipe. The ideology we put in there is one polite bite. If your taste buds don't like it, we just say my taste buds didn't like it yet. It's not yuck, ooh, or gross. We don't want to yuck on anyone's yum because it's the idea of if I'm eating my food and I'm enjoying it and someone next to me says, ew, that's disgusting, that just ruined my experience. So we teach the kids to have these polite manners around tasting new foods. I love when I hear kids say that they've gone home and they've made this food with their parents and their parents will send me pictures of the same recipe that we just made. And for me, it's like, all right, it's translating, right? It's translating into their daily lives, and that for me is, I feel like I've made a difference. I'm so grateful. As a secondary teacher for 18 years, and I loved what I did, but now I really feel that I'm in an authentic place to show the kids the natural world, show them about food, and teach them about food education. So I'm grateful. I couldn't ask for a better job.
Still ahead, premium beef infused with a healthy dose of this root vegetable.
We come from Bakersfield, California, which is the home of the baby carrot. So when they make a baby carrot, the tips, the tops, the pieces, the shavings, those all go to our cattle.
And after the break, we'll take a seat at the mayor's table.
Then we'll baste the fish with the butter, so now we're cooking the other side.
Just for the halibut.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're also one of America's largest financial services companies. Like he's so much more than Saquon Barkley.
I'm also Staycon Barkley.
Oh man, it struck my uniform. Whoever did.
Calm in, stress out.
I'll never remember all this.
Relax, Rook. When things get intense, we get incense. What a nice cleansing surprise.
For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
The California Farm Bureau has protected the diverse agricultural interests in the Golden State for over a century. As part of the California Farm Bureau, you'll add your voice to the combined strength of over 34,000 farmers, ranchers, and families through our state. That means more connections, more influence, and more opportunity to fight for the issues that impact your life. With your support behind us, California Farm Bureau's robust government affairs, federal policy and farm pact, and legal teams work tirelessly to advocate at all levels of government, protecting and promoting our shared way of life. Together, California Farm Bureau and our members are standing up for farmers, ranchers, and families throughout the Golden State every day, working to cultivate a bountiful future for all Californians.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Dela Cruz. I'm chef here at Mayor's Table, located in Lido House Hotel, Newport Beach, California. Today we will be preparing local halibut with sun gold jam and some ramp oil. So here's the halibut, local wild caught. We'll just do a little bit of kosher salt, just preserve some of the flavor, which I already pre-seasoned. Anytime we're searing fish, it's super important that you let the pan get really hot and then you add the oil. If you do it another way, you'll see it tends to stick. Sometimes the fish would tend to curl up, so what I like to do is apply a little bit of light pressure to it. And that'll help ensure we get that nice sear. One thing I like to do when I'm cooking seafood is I like to incorporate a little bit of herbs, some garlic, and I'll put them in whole. A little bit of fresh thyme. We'll add a little bit of butter. And as the butter melts, it infuses with the garlic and thyme here. So now the butter's seasoned with the garlic and thyme, we're just basting it. Now the fish is just about there. I could feel, for texture, that it still feels like it's bouncy. As I'm pushing down, it's not feeling like it's going to just completely smash. We like to cook our fish here at Mayor's Table to at 100, 125 degrees where it's still medium or mid-rare state. Because as it sits, it'll continue to carry over with the cooking. This is the Sun Gold tomato jam, right? So it does get its name, of course, from the color, bright, beautiful orange. Super tasty. Again, we just treated it really simple with a little splash of vinegar, a little bit of salt. Added it to the confit fennel and garlic here. All right, so next we're ready to plate our halibut dish. Take our halibut, we'll just go right on top here. Here we have some local herbs. We got some chervil and a little bit of blood sorrel, which will add a really nice anise flavor to the dish, which balances really well with tomato. If you can imagine a fennel-like taste, which of course with the fennel in here just adds to it. So we'll finish the dish here. Here we made some ramp oil using the leaves, a byproduct of the actual bottom of the ramp. One of the many ways that we cross-utilize, a number of ingredients, multiple different ways. So this here is our finished dish. Here we have local halibut. You got Sun Gold tomato jam, confit fennel with a little bit of ramp oil.
Next up, feeding carrots to cows for premium outcomes.
It was my son Justin that said, we got to finish one on carrots. Just basically supplanting corn with carrots, and went on, and the rest is history.
Think of it as beef that's well done. Stay with us. You're watching California Bountiful.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're also one of America's largest financial services companies too. Just like I'm so much more than Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. I want everyone here to know that you too can be so much more.
So I could be a chef.
Sure can.
Marine biologist?
Follow your dream.
NFL quarterback.
Kind of a niche skill set, but I believe in you. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Are you looking to uncover more of the bounty of California's rich, diverse, and delicious food and wine scene? Then it's time to get social with us. Find even more great content from farm to fork and everything in between, like recipes, behind the scenes, on food and wine tours, plus useful info on what's good for you and so much more. Join an engaging community of like-minded foodies and tell us what great story ideas you have for us too. So what are you waiting for? Get in on the conversation now. Find, follow, and talk to us on social at CA Bountiful.
Located along the rolling lower foothills of the Breckenridge Mountain, just outside of Bakersfield, Santa Carota Ranch is redefining premium beef. They're combining generations of ranching experience with a groundbreaking solution to creating extraordinary full-flavored beef using one unexpected ingredient: carrots.
It's really funny. You take cows that come out of the mountains that have never seen anything but grass. It takes them a minute, and what we do is we'll put carrots in front of them until we see them all eating them. Once they learn how to eat those carrots, they get hooked on them.
Founded by third-generation cattle ranchers Mike and his son Justin Pettit, their innovation became a market disruptor when a multi-year drought led them to finish their grass-raised cattle with upcycled carrots.
Nobody knew how to feed carrots back then, and we played around different types of cattle, different things, and what it really worked out well for, it was my son Justin that said, we got to finish one on carrots, which is the third step that we've never done, the final process of it. And so we played around with different feeds. We went ahead and finished them on carrots, just basically supplanting corn with carrots, and went on, and the rest is history.
And while their cattle are free to roam the range, they also enjoy a 95% carrot-based diet, which produces delicious and healthy results.
The beef industry is what created the American cowboy. It's part of our American and Western heritage. And not only that, red meat is one of the healthiest foods on the planet. I mean, that's what our ancestors grew up eating. So I think that people that are avoiding red meat for health purposes, they're really missing out. Because when you dig into the science of it, you learn that how much it is probably one of the only sustainable meats or proteins that you can live on solely your entire life. I mean, look at the carnivore diet and how many people it's curing, healing, helping, no matter that if that's grass-fed or grain-fed or carrot finished beef like ours. I think that people are really starting to wake up to the fact that red meat is healthy, and then what we were taught for the last several decades is actually wrong.
There's so much sugar in a carrot, but we test the meat for sugar and it's 0%.
God bless social media, and even grass-fed beef really kind of broke the ice and the glass ceiling of where we can go. And so we tried a handful of them, ate our first one on my birthday in 2017, and we were like, oh man, this is good, but now what are we gonna do with it? And so we saddled up and bet the farm and took a chance. And so we're the startup entrepreneurs that are trying to put a great product out there.
It's a unique lane they've created for themselves, and they're owning it.
They will eat 10% of their body weight a day. Carrots are 90% water, and a cow has to have 10% dry matter to service their body daily. So a 1,000-pound cow will eat a minimum of 100 pounds of carrots a day. To my knowledge, we're the only ones that do it, and that are finishing cattle on carrots, mainly because we can grade Choice Prime with those and still be labeled grass-fed, because they're not a grain or a legume. But a further benefit of what we're doing is we are completely regenerative. Completely. There's no box to check for what we do. Cow has 4 stomachs. They've got to have roughage in the front stomach, so we keep free choice Sudan grass hay in front of them. The Sudan grass hay is grown from the wastewater from the plant where we get our carrots. So, I mean, it's a total closed circle thing.
So what began as a family ranching tradition has grown into a nationally available product. And their beef is a chef's favorite too.
Luigi's here in Bakersfield, they serve our beef, they do an amazing job. They're a great family to work with. They've always gone above and beyond to showcase our product. We're kind of a specialty for them. So some days they have chicken days, they have different specials, and then we'll be more of a specialty item for them. Today we're gonna have a ribeye, a boneless ribeye. It's gonna be delicious. I don't know what they do, but I know they put a lot of love in it.
And that is going to do it for this edition of California Bountiful. Remember, you can find all our episodes online at californiabountiful.com. Until next time, take care and have a great week.